got me. The fight will go on. I'll carry your sword. You won't have fought in vain. Thank you, old man. I'll take it from here. I will break your legacy. I will break your legacy. The time has come for you to rest. So in your place I'll take my stand, and I will break your legacy. You don't owe anyone anything. If anything, we owe you our lives. If I could be half the man you've been since we met, then I could die with pride as I pray you do. Thank you, old man. I'll take it from here. I will break your legacy. I will break your legacy. The time has come for you to rest. So in your place I'll take my stand, and I will break your legacy. But please don't die on me yet. I've still so much to learn, and I find peace knowing you're there, ready to stand if I should fail. But please pray I will not fail. So long you have fought, now we fight for you. Do not fear for us because of you. We can stand on our own because of you. We can stand on our own.
By the look of him, there's nothing special here. He just seems like a man until the flight begins. No matter how battered, he just gets up and fights again. He's never been a warrior, so why would he fall? The man's a juggernaut. The man's a juggernaut. The man's a juggernaut, and nothing is stopping him. I could have sworn he would have been the first to fall. The man would let anyone walk all over him. Has something shifted, or did we miss something? A blow to the head and he still keeps going. How is it possible? The man's a juggernaut. The man's a juggernaut. juggernaut. The man's a juggernaut. The man's a juggernaut. And nothing is stopping him. He should be dead. I think he might be soon. He hasn't made much progress, but they still can't kill him. They still can't kill him. Yeah. But they still can't kill him. Yeah, they still can't kill him. I don't think they can kill him.
You don't seem like you're ready for this. Wow, didn't your mama tell you don't ask for what you don't want? Fight, fight, fight. Fight, fight, fight. Fight, fight, fight. I said, stand down, prepare to see the face of vengeance. Your life, your plans will bend to the will of my fury. Fight, fight, fight. Fight, fight, fight. Prepare for war. Your world is about to change. Prepare for war. The men have too much at stake. It's over now. Your time has come. And now, men of honor, prepare for war.
How are y'all doing this morning? Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right. Are we ready to go, my friends? Woo, boy, I have been prepping for this for a little while and I am still not quite ready for it. How you guys doing today? Everybody doing pretty good? Pretty good so far? All right, so listen. Things are off the chain already in 2025. A lot of things have happened, and a lot of people, I think, are pretty hopeful about where the United States of America is going right now. I think it's a great. I think that the temperature in the United States has chilled significantly. But I was looking through this list the other day, and wow, y'all, we weren't close. We were there during the Biden presidency, looking through the list of things that happened in 24 and comparing it to the things that happened in 2023. Dadgummit, y'all. We were at World War III. We were a fascist country. We're not now. Things are changing like very drastically, very quickly. But we were there, and I think that going through all of this is gonna really bring a lot of that to light. But I want to welcome you to the stream. Quick introduction for those who have not seen this series before. There are 2 other episodes for 23 and 22. Basically, what I do is every year, as the year is progressing, I write down major events that actually affect the lives of everyday Americans. I don't count the stupid drama stuff. No, Nancy Pelosi's husband being assaulted by apparently his gay lover or whatever uh, is whatever went on there. That doesn't make the cut because it's not something that affects our everyday lives. How many pints of ice cream Nancy Pelosi has? Nancy Pelosi really doesn't make it into these streams very often. But the whole point is we need to learn how to differentiate between things that actually make a difference in our everyday lives and the things that are just drama. Because most news stories are simply just drama. And I want to avoid harping on the drama all the time and focus on the things that actually affect you and me. That's what this list is. And I've got a couple of different things that I do that I think most people would benefit from in terms of making this list. One of the things I do, as you can see right here, I've got an ongoing Word document where the whole purpose is just to write down everything that happens throughout the year and then throw a source or two in with it. And then what I do, of course, like as the year goes on, I come back to this list, I check it and make sure that I'm right about everything. Not too long ago, I had to remove a story because I realized I was wrong about something on it. But that's part of what this does. It helps to hold people accountable. All right. Another thing that it does, working this list, it helps you be patient with news stories. Everybody would be significantly more informed if they took simply 2 weeks to form an official opinion on a major news story. School shooting, okay, time out. Okay, the families first, okay? Prayers for the families, make sure our family is safe, all that stuff. And then wait 2 weeks until we actually get real information, and then let's talk about it, okay? There's some big story coming out about how Trump is a big Nazi conspiracy and all these. Wait 2 weeks, see what changes. There's a lawsuit going on. Oh no, no, the Democrats are suing the United States. Wait 2 weeks, see what happens. That's what this list does. Is it trains you to be patient and it trains you to understand that there's always an agenda. That's the whole purpose of this list. With that being said, I don't want to make my introduction too long-winded. Let's jump into the things that happened in 2024. Starting in January, don't have an exact date on it. I forgot to put the exact date in, but in January, the names were dropped for the Jeffrey Epstein list, at least a few of them, and it's pretty bad, including video of Bill Clinton and Prince Andrew and many others, and I have in here in my note a note of Trump being exonerated. So you go here, the Jeffrey Epstein list. The article is from the BBC. All right. Now, as we go through this, we have all, of course, the whole list of like what happened with Prince Andrew and the statements that were made about him, the stuff that goes Bill Richardson, Bill Clinton. There's a one from Michael Jackson. Here's the interesting one though about Donald Trump, and I want to be super, 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 super clear about this. All right, with the Donald Trump one, I saw that Donald Trump's name was on the list. I was like, could be. Look, he's a powerful man with a ton of money, and he's a celebrity. I default celebrities and politicians to be gross people. So there is potential. There could be something going on with Trump. Then this was very interesting. The document also includes testimony about Donald Trump from Ms. Solberg about diversions Epstein's plane made to New Jersey to visit the businessman in 2001 on one of his casinos. When pilots said their plane could not land in New York and would need to stop in Atlantic City, Epstein said he would call up Trump and drop by to see him, she said. The documents contain no alleged wrongdoing by Mr. Trump. Mrs. Solberg is asked whether she ever gave Mr. Trump a massage, and she said she did not. Because she was, I mean, this poor girl was put through a lot. I mean, a lot. And so then you can see this statement from her down here. As we were flying, Jeffrey said, why don't you go sit in the cockpit to check out the landing? So we were sitting there, and the pilots told me to go back and tell him that we can't land in New York, and we were going to have to land in Atlantic City. Jeffrey said, great, we'll call up Trump, and we'll go to, I don't know, recall the name of the casino, but we'll go to the casino. All right? Yeah, yep. And that's it. That is it. And there's one here for Michael Jackson. I mean, if you want to read the stuff about Michael Jackson, you can check out the link. All of my links are in the description of the video that you're watching right now. The live stream that you're watching right now, I have every single source that I'm using here that you're seeing on the screen. All of it is in the description of the video. And this is important too, because, as a minor note, I went back and looked at, I think it was the 22 list. I don't remember which story it was, but the 2022 yearly major event stream, it was a big story that had to do with like some kind of like CIA cover up or like FBI cover up, something like that looked really bad for Democrats. By the way, shout out Mug Club Army. How you doing today? I'm really enjoying Josh. I think Josh is a great addition to the show, and he's got that silly goose mentality, and I like to have good silly goose mentality mixed in with the rougher comedy stuff. So yeah. Anyways, but I was looking back through the sources that I used for the 2022 stream, and there's a link missing. One of the links that I had cited there is gone. Now, granted, the Republican sources are there, but the Democrat sources, when and I should really go back and take a look at which one it was, but it was something that made the Democrats look really skeevy and suspicious. Yeah, they removed their source. Of course, you can't have things looking too bad for you, but that's why I'm putting the link to every single source I have in the description. All right, story number 2. Mug Club Undercover releases BlackRock executive expose. All right, I'm not going to go through all of it, but if you want to understand what's going on there, you can go to Steven Crowder's either YouTube or Rumble page. They did a big study into a big undercover. Ooh, hello, that's a little off kilter. Let's adjust that. Not the biggest deal in the world, but I like for things to look pretty. Bada-bada-bada-bada-bump. There we go. That's pretty enough. There we go. All right. And so, doing this expose, they look into this this website right here, or this email account, hero121@mail.com, because it was linked to a website that's a lot of evil stuff was happening to children. Now, you know what? I'm not going to censor myself. Screw it. Screw YouTube. Okay? It was a website about parents raping their children. Okay? Not like calling it disgusting or anything, participating in it. And you have to answer like a questionnaire. Watch the video because it's incredibly disgusting. And what they found is that BlackRock CEO, a lady, I don't remember her name, this email, hero121@mail.com, was linked to her, only to her. They follow all the sources and whatnot. Check it out. They do a very good job of doing that and saying like, look, if she's actually innocent, we want to know, and we can, we can undo it. But like, you can guess like how this goes. I mean, it gets pretty obvious what happens when these disgusting people get caught. They just try to make things disappear. Hasn't disappeared. All right. Story number 3. Texas versus Biden on the border, including the Supreme Court decision, which came on January 22nd. Let me make sure we're centered here. That's good enough. Yeah. Oh, boom, there. Okay. All right. U.S. Supreme Court says Texas can't block federal agents from the border. This is a big deal. All of January, there was this big battle that was going on between Texas and the federal government because Biden was trying to keep the border open, and Greg Abbott down in Texas was trying to enforce border security. My gosh, how quickly that has changed in a few days in 2025. Oh boy. U.S. Supreme Court on Monday ordered Texas to allow federal border agents access to the state's border with Mexico, where Texas officials have deployed miles of wire. I'm not going to try to pronounce the word. The order did not explain the justice's decisions. For now, it effectively upholds longstanding court rulings that the Constitution gives the federal government sole responsibility for border security. And Greg Abbott has said numerous times, like, I would give the federal government the ability to just do this themselves. But the problem is they don't do it. Sorry, it get dust up here. I got to wipe up the dust. This is bothering me. It's not like a big bother. It's like, oh, I'm OCD because I like things to be neat and clean. No, I'm not OCD. I'm not one of those stupid people. Anyways, not OCD people who pretend that they're OCD. All right. 5-4 order from the Supreme Court vacated a previous injunction from the 5th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals that prevented Border Patrol agents from cutting the wire. And it's wild. It was ongoing for a long time. That's going to be a very different story in 2025. But just as a reminder, yes, the Supreme Court sided with the Biden administration, saying that they cannot block or they cannot enforce their own border security. All right. Next one. Let's go back to the Supreme Court for a bit, because now we have some good news from the Supreme Court. A 9-0 ruling that Donald Trump could not be removed from the ballot. This is why I said at the beginning, y'all, we weren't on the verge of fascism under the Biden administration. We were there, okay? So think about this, okay? Multiple things going on. We had all of these bogus attacks on Donald Trump that were happening at the same time as the Democrats were trying to remove him from the ballot based on these bogus lawsuits. That is fascism, at the same time that they still had January 6th prisoners, even though for some of them, no charges were ever brought. And they were not violent individuals. And they were welcomed into the building, arrested. Yeah, there's some violent ones. Some of them weren't. Democrats didn't care. We were a fascist state, okay? Let's go over to that Supreme Court ruling, though, okay? Because Colorado and a couple other states, and mainly Colorado, tried to block Donald Trump from being on the ballot. Supreme Court rules states can't kick Trump off of the ballot. Woohoo! Supreme Court on Monday handed a sweeping win to former President Donald Trump by ruling that states cannot kick him off the ballot over his actions leading up to the January 6th attack on the Capitol, bringing a swift end to the case with huge implications for the 2024 election. That was such a big sweeping moment for the United States of America. I mean, like, we were so close to, for example, what's happening down in Venezuela. We'll get to Maduro in a little bit, but like, we were there. We were at the point of political control by the Democrats. Okay. The court said Colorado Supreme Court had wrongly assumed that states can determine whether a presidential candidate or other candidate for federal offices is ineligible. The ruling makes it clear that Congress, not states, has to set the rules on how the 14th Amendment provision can be enforced against federal office seekers. Boom. End of story. Sorry, y'all. Can't be fascists. Gotta follow the rule of law. All right, let's go back to the insanity for a little bit. How about California? All right, in April, don't have a date on this, a specific date on this one. It's probably here in the article. California imposing a $25 minimum wage for healthcare workers causes hour and benefit cuts and potential layoffs. Let's take a look at that from KFF Health News. California health workers may face rude awakening with $25 an hour minimum wage laws. All right. From Sacramento, California, nearly 500,000 healthcare workers who stand to benefit from California's nation-leading $25 minimum wage law could be in for a rude awakening if hospitals and other healthcare providers follow through on potential cuts to hours and benefits. Remember, y'all, we don't want to admit it, but hospitals and healthcare places are businesses too. They're not handout places. They are businesses as well. Their people need to make money. The business needs to make money so that they can, continue to improve the hospital. They can make renovations, repairs as needed. Like, they need money. They have to work as a business. It means that they've got to get money from somewhere, whether it be from insurance companies or patients. They have to get money. So when you impose something like a $25 minimum wage, that money's gonna come from somewhere. Even if it means like cutting hours. Medical industry challenge to new minimum wage ordinance in one Southern California city suggests layoffs and reductions in hours and benefits, including cuts to premium pay and vacation time, could be one of many results, of a state law set to begin phasing in June. However, some experts are skeptical of that possibility. They are, but the fact that this is even on the table is something that could possibly happen. Y'all, that's a big deal. That's a really big deal. You guys can read the rest of the article yourselves, because if I remember correctly, California did not go through with it. But again, the very fact that they suggested it and the almost immediate response is, hey, we don't have money. Well, welcome socialism. This one used to be set in a previous month, but poor Taiwan and the earthquakes ended up being a year-round thing. We're going to come over here. And let me actually see. We're going to switch this up a little bit. Here we go. All right, so there were multiple earthquakes in Taiwan in 2024. Like, the need has been terrible. I mean, like, the island is devastated, and part of the reason why that's such a big deal, not only is it, very sad that such an incredible natural disaster is like crippling Taiwan, but additionally, like, for us as well, like, that's where we get our computer chips and things from. A lot of our technology resources come from Taiwan. So the fact that that ended up causing rippling effects throughout the economy for us as well. And I believe that this is a website where you can contribute to financially. Hold up, where's my camera? There we are. All right, just moving myself over to the side for just a moment. Okay. April 3rd, 2024, a 7.4 magnitude earthquake struck just southwest of Hualien City, Taiwan, shortly before 8 a.m. local time, damaging homes, businesses, schools, and communication and transport infrastructure. Since the April 3rd earthquake, Taiwan has been hit by hundreds of aftershocks ranging from small to more than a 6.0 magnitude in size. This included 700 aftershocks within 24 hours and 1,300 by May 10th. At least 18 people died, more than 1,100 were injured, 2 people remain missing, and this is probably a little out of date as well. So definitely keep Taiwan in your prayers. If there's something you can do to support them, that's a, as far as I understand, that's a good website to start finding something that's possible to do for them. But yeah, that's where we are right now with those earthquakes and whatnot. Let's get myself recentered. There we go. And I'm gonna scoochy oochie. There we go. All right. Next major news story. Iran attacks Israel. April 13th. Y'all, I'm telling you, we weren't on the verge of fascism in the United States. We were there. We weren't on the verge of World War III. We were there. We were at World War III. We just didn't have several nations declaring war and sending boots on the ground. Go away. There we go. Why Iran? Ooh, can I close this out? Can I close out the advertisement? There we go. Okay, why Iran attacked Israel and what comes next. Maybe there we go. Okay. Waves of drones and missiles that flew towards Israel overnight on Sunday. Yeah, it would be super helpful to have a second person to be able to set up this screen for me. Maybe one day. All right, waves of drones and missiles that flew towards Israel overnight on Sunday brought with it a new phase of tension, uncertainty, and confrontation in the Middle East. Iran launched the unprecedented attack in response to a suspected Israeli strike on the Iranian consulate in Damascus, Syria, earlier this month. It marked a new chapter in a discord between the two states that percolated for years and has spiraled since Israel declared war on Hamas last October. All right. And you guys will probably remember like seeing TikTok videos or clips of it being run on the news. More than 300 projectiles, including around 170 drones and over 120 ballistic missiles, were fired towards Israel in the immense attack on Israel overnight. Approximately 350 rockets were fired from Iran, Iraq, Yemen, and Lebanon's Hezbollah, according to Israel Defense Forces spokesperson Daniel Hagari. However, 99% of the projectiles were intercepted by Israel's aerial defense systems and its allies, according to the Israeli military, with only a small number reaching Israeli territory. First things first, like the fact that Israel's able to defend itself time and time again is astonishing. But just to go a step further, like, do y'all understand like how much Israel is targeted as trying, someone attempting to wipe Israel off the face of the map? This isn't new. It happened, and I like to include it to remember, hey, this happened. They're already at war with Hamas in Gaza, and then they're attacked by Iran. Why the heck, if this whole conflict actually began, I don't care what the left says, if this conflict actually began with use your words, Stephen. If the conflict actually began with the October attack, where Hamas sent troopers into Israel at the music festival, slaughtering people, taking prisoners, why would Iran attack Israel? Saying there's some things happening that are a little bit spishy. All right, and that brings us to the next big news story, probably one of the biggest news stories in American history, at least modern American history, the Trump assassination attempt. All right. This is from the AP, multiple failures, multiple investigations, unraveling the attempted assassination of Donald Trump. Let's see how centered we are here. Let's recenter. Boom. There we are. All right, from Butler, Pennsylvania. The young man was pacing around the edges of the Donald Trump campaign rally, shouldering a big backpack, peering into the lens of a rangefinder toward the rooftops behind the stage where the former president would stand within the hour. His behavior was so odd, so unlike that of the other rally-goers, that local law enforcement took notice, radioed their concerns, and snapped a photo. But then he vanished. The image was circulated by officers stationed outside the security perimeter on that hot, sunny Saturday afternoon, but the man did not appear again until a witness saw him climbing up the side of a squat manufacturing building that was within 135 meters or 157 yards from the stage. There's, of course, one of the famous pictures of Trump as his ear was grazed. And let's see, I believe that this had a video because I want to do the video. All right, and you have the. All right, we'll come back to that in a moment. Crooks was spotted again. Members of a local SWAT team stationed inside the building complex noticed him walking around. And here you can actually see the shot. Okay, he's standing here, turns his head. The bullets are fired. Sadly, one of the attendees was killed. A father protecting his daughter and his wife. And of course, this will be one of the most iconic moments in all of American history. You see him on the ground, people surrounding him. At this time, the shooter had been taken down. Turns out, by the way, and don't let the left fool you, I don't have a source on this right now. I can probably pull one later. But the shooter was a left-wing activist who changed his voter roll to Republican so that he could vote for Nikki Haley. Oh, man. I didn't show the one of him standing up. There's probably... Wow. Okay, so they didn't show the iconic photo of Trump holding his fist in the air, but you can see that, like, that one, and this looks like another video. Yeah, this is video of the shooter beforehand. Like, that's such a the fact that that even happened at all in the United States of America, I'm telling you, that's okay, we'll go without it. The fact that it happened in the United States of America at all shows that we were in a fascist country. I'm just very, 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 very grateful that we are not there anymore and things are different now. All right, moving on. Next story. 2 days after a gunman tried to kill him, Trump classified documents case is thrown out by a federal judge. Woohoo! Let's talk about it. From CBS. Trump's documents case dismissed by federal judge with special counsel vowing to appeal. Oh boy, this is big page. I am not going to shrink this one. You guys can read it. I'll read what it says because I'm going to take a lot of time shrinking it down, but I'll read it for you guys. Okay. All right, federal judge overseeing the case alleging former President Donald Trump mishandled sensitive documents after leaving the White House has dismissed the charge. Get rid of that ad. Get rid of the ad. Thank you. Dismissed the charges against him and his two co-defendants. U.S. District Judge Helene Cannon said in a 93-page order that she has granted Trump's bid to dismiss the indictment based on the unlawful funding and appointment of special counsel Jack Smith, who brought the charges against the former president. The bottom line is this: the appointments clause is a critical constitutional restriction stemming from the separation of powers, and it gives to Congress a considered role in determining the propriety of vesting appointment of power for inferior offices, wrote Cannon, who was appointed to the bench by Trump. The special counsel's position effectively usurps that important legislative authority, transferring it to a head of a department, and in the process threatening the structural liberty and the inherent in the separation of powers. The former president faced 40 charges stemming from his handling of the documents marked classified after leaving office and allegedly obstructing the Justice Department's investigation. The former president and his aides, Walt Nauta and Carlos de Oliveira, were charged in alleged scheme to impede the federal probe, and all three pled not guilty. There's the documents you can see right there. And the crazy thing is, of course, for us Republicans, we remember the same time hearing about how Joe Biden, what a chicken McTurd nugget, Joe Biden had documents of his own being hidden, and no charges were ever brought against him. All right. So I'm going to start to open a couple of those. Next story, let's move on. Senator Menendez, Bob Menendez, charged of being a foreign agent. Woo, buddy. ABC News reporting, Senator Bob Menendez, Democrat, found guilty on all counts, including acting as a foreign agent in federal corruption trial. Senator Bob Menendez found guilty on all counts on Tuesday in his federal corruption trial. Federal prosecutors in New York alleging the New Jersey Democrat accepted hundreds of thousands of dollars in bribes in form of cash, gold bars, mortgage payments, and more in exchange for the senator's political clout. 3 New Jersey businessmen who were also charged, along with governments of Egypt and Qatar, were the alleged recipients. 2 of those co-defendants, not going to pronounce that name, and Fred Daibes, were also convicted on all counts they faced. The jury deliberated for about 13 hours over 3 days. I have never been a foreign agent ever, says the foreign agent. Oh boy. Guilty on all accounts. Calls to resign. Menendez is not required to resign despite his conviction, though could be expelled. Majority Leader Senator Chuck Schumer called for his resignation immediately after the verdict. It's pretty bad when even your fellow Democrats are like, just resign, bro. Just resign, bro. Just resign. Just resign. Oh, love it, love it, love it, love it. All right, the CrowdStrike outage of on July 19th. This was a very big deal. So I bring this to you from techtarget.com. CrowdStrike outage explained. What caused it and what's next? CrowdStrike update caused a massive IT outage, crashing millions of Windows systems. Critical services and business operations were disrupted, revealing tech reliance risks. What might be considered the largest IT outage in history was triggered by a botched software update from security vendor CrowdStrike, affecting millions of Windows systems around the world and airlines. Outage occurred on July 19th, 2024, with millions of Windows systems failing and showing the infamous blue screen of death. CrowdStrike, the company at the core of the outage, is an endpoint security vendor whose primary technology is the Falcon platform, which helps protect systems against potential threats in a bid to minimize cybersecurity risks. What caused the outage? CrowdStrike Falcon platform is widely used. Organizations all sizes, a pervasiveness, CrowdStrike's chronology, integration. The outage was not a Microsoft Windows flaw directly, but rather a flaw in CrowdStrike Falcon that triggered the issue. All right, this caused major deal. There were several flights that were canceled because of this major outage. This was this was like disruption of lifestyle, of travel. Like, this should never have happened. The CrowdStrike outage should never have happened. Probably something that could have been very easily avoided. All right, I'm going to pull up some of the next I'm going to pull up the next couple of stories. And so while I am doing that, I want to hear a little bit about what y'all think is going on right now. Let me, there we go. That way y'all don't have to watch me as I'm pulling up all the new windows. So far from that, I mean, like, what do you think I'm missing from that list? I mean, it's halfway through the year. I was telling somebody that I work with over at Chick-fil-A, it seemed like as I was, not only putting together the list, but as I was reviewing the list, that it appeared like there was very little, January was a big month. Then there was very little that happened several months after that. Oh, looky there. See, this is why I check them. ABC page unavailable. Which page was that? All right, let's see. It's after the Maduro one. Ooh! Ooh, that's a big one. All right. So apparently ABC has pulled their article about Google censoring the assassination attack. See, this is why I save these things. So I'm going to leave that in the description so you can see it. Google caught censoring Trump assassination attempt. Haha, there we go. Thank you, AP. AP is coming clutch, which is something I didn't think I would say very much. But I'm going to leave that ABC page up because I want you to see it. Man, the amount of interference and like corruption that happens. Yeah, let me actually go ahead. I'm going to save that because I want to remember that. I want to remember whenever these sources disappear like that. Paste. There we go. I'm telling you, like the way that these things happen, like it happens so flipping often. So often that like these big companies try to cover up this crap. You know, people should be like absolutely like Democrats should be dadgummit. Democrats should be disgusted by how their leadership is doing what they're doing right now. No tax on tips. Yep, okay, got that one. All right, these are going to be a little bit out of order, but that's okay. Let's get back to it, and I'll open some more a little bit later. Scroll back up to the top right here. Doobie-doo boop. And shooby boop. There we go. All right, next big news story that happened in 2024. July 21st. Biden drops out of the race. You guys remember this? You guys remember watching live when this happened? This was, oh, it's so bonkers. It's insane. All right, so we had the big debate. Went so badly for Biden that even Democrats were like, yeah, dudes, like we can't do this anymore. We can't do this. We need to replace him. So President Joe Biden drops out of the 2024 presidential race. Let's pull that over a little bit. That's just the way that this stream goes. There we go. That's nice. All right. President Joe Biden announced on Sunday that he will end his presidential re-election campaign, bringing an abrupt and humbling conclusion to his half-century-long political career and scrambling the race for the White House less than 4 months before Election Day. Biden, 81, could not reverse growing sentiment within his party that he was too frail to serve and destined to lose to Donald Trump in November. Or they finally accepted the fact that he's an old fart who should have retired like 20 years ago. All right, so you've got the big old official statement there. Not going to read that because that's not the main point. I don't care about MGM. Who cares? Well, it's been my intention to seek re-election. I believe it is best interest of my party and the country for me to stand down and focus solely on fulfilling my duties as president for the remainder of my term. And then, what happens next? We all know what happens next. My very first decision as the party nominee in 2020 was to pick Kamala Harris as my vice president, Biden posted, and it has been the best decision I've made. Wow, that sounds forced. Today, I want to offer my full support and endorsement for Kamala to be the nominee for our party this year. Y'all, the fact that this woman she was only in the White House because she was picked, and then she was only a presidential front runner because she was picked by people in power. That should speak volumes about where the Democrat Party is. They won't see it that way. Who cares, though? But yep, that was, if I remember correctly, I believe it's happened before, but that is an incredibly huge moment, the way that it happened. It's one of those times where it's like, the corruption cannot be hidden anymore. All right, next. Where are we at? The Secret Service. Okay, yeah. Next one on July 23rd. Notice how quickly all of these events are happening right here, okay? From the moment of Trump's assassination attempt through the end of July, just boom, 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 boom. These things keep happening. So, July 23rd, Kim Cheadle, Secret Service Director, resigns. Woo, boy. Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheadle resigns. All right. She has tendered her resignation amid scrutiny of security lapses related to the recent assassination attempt of former President Donald Trump. Look at that face right there. What a face that is. All right. Move comes as lawmakers and international government watchdogs move forward with investigations into the agency's handling of Trump's protection and how gunmen came close to killing the 2024 Republican presidential candidate at a rally in Pennsylvania. How the heck did that happen, y'all? But she resigned. And I would count that as pretty close to an admission of guilt as you can get. That's a little off kilter again. Oop, there we go. All right. Joe Biden said he and the First Lady Jill Biden are grateful for Cheadle's decades of public service and happy to see her go. There have been bipartisan calls in Congress for Cheadle's resignation and a push by Republican lawmakers to impeach her. Lawmakers were practically incensed after her appearance in front of the House Oversight Committee on Monday, when she was unwilling to answer many of the committee's questions. During the House Oversight appearance, Cheadle acknowledged there were significant and colossal problems with the security at the rally, but still rebuffed demands for her resignation. Well, that didn't take too long till that actually happened, but we're gonna look back on this time and we're gonna be shocked that we live in the United States of America and all of this happened. All right, next, July 24th. A day later. Man, July was a terrible month for Democrats. Harris campaign caught misleading voters about Project 2025. Oh, buddy. And it's still happening, by the way. This is from the Daily Signal. Harris campaign admits to misleading voters on Trump and Project 2025. All right, let's see how we need to center this one. That one's actually not too bad. I'm going to leave that one. All right. A campaign official for a Democrat presidential candidate, Kamala Harris, acknowledged on Wednesday that the vice president is deliberately misleading voters about Project 2025. CNN first reported this stunning admission as part of a fact-check article. I remember what it was I was wrong about, where I removed it from this list. It was a thing about Harris receiving coaching and stuff from ABC during and before the debate. That was one I ended up being wrong about. CNN first reported this stunning admission as part of a fact-check article accusing Harris of making false claims about Project 2025 and former President Donald Trump's stance on Social Security. CNN's Daniel Dale revealed a Harris campaign official said the campaign has made a deliberate decision to brand all of Trump's policies as Project 2025 since they believe it has stuck with the voters. Since entering the presidential race Sunday, Harris and her campaign have repeatedly tried to link Project 2025 to Trump, still are, despite the former president's pushback and proof otherwise. A few hours before CNN published this fact-check story Wednesday, Trump called links to Project 2025 merely disinformation put out by the radical left Democrat thugs. Do not believe them! DJT. Things get wild, and they're going to get more wild because we have another story linked to that same vein a little bit later in October. Next story. Maduro from Venezuela declares election victory and the world questions. Fine. So since then, I have canceled my subscription to the New York Times to give you just the basic recap of it. And that, the link is there that if you want to make yourself an account and, pay the $1, I don't want to give any more money to the New York Times. But you can read that, like, Maduro declares victory, and there's huge questions as to whether or not the election was fair. Next story. Where are we at? There we are. And here's where ABC is here. Google was caught censoring the Trump assassination attempt results in their searches. Oh, look at that. I had an ABC page. Oops, the page is unavailable. That's very strange. Too bad the AP has it right here. All right, let's recenter this one. Oop. Okay. All right. Fact focus. Google autocomplete results around Trump lead to claims of election interference. Oh boy, let's take a look. With fewer than 100 days until the 2024 election, social media users are claiming that lack of Google autocomplete results about former President Donald Trump and his attempted assassination is evidence of election interference. I tried this myself at the time. I did the search, and now I wasn't the only one. Hey, Mug Club Army, you remember doing that? We did the search. We looked at the results that were coming through. Sure enough, what do you know? The daggum cheats were hiding the results. You tried to search Trump assassination attempt, and you would get like Theodore Roosevelt assassination attempt, Ronald Reagan assassination attempt, and so much other. It's like JFK, like you get all of these other results, but it would not complete the most significant story of the year. I do believe that the Trump assassination attempt is the most important story of 2024. And Google autocomplete would not do it. Many posts included screenshots showing what the autocomplete would feature, with which predicts what users are trying to type, has generated for text such as attempted assassination of TR or President Donald. Among the picture results of the former for the former phrase are references to other assassination attempts, including that of Harry Truman, Gerald Ford, but nothing for Trump. The latter provides two options: President Donald Duck and President Donald Reagan. Seems a little strange, right? Thank you, AP, for not taking down your source, even though it makes Democrats look bad. Oh boy, y'all, this is just insane. We live, Banana Republic is a very polite way to put it. All right, next story. Federal judge rules Google is an illegal monopoly. All right, so this comes from The Guardian. First thing, Google ran a legal monopoly. U.S. judge rules. U.S. federal judge ruled that Google maintained a monopoly over search services and advertising. Plus, the cruise ship celebrating all things Creed. Who cares about that? A federal judge ruled on Monday that Google violated antitrust laws and built an internet search empire, maintaining... Where did I go? I lost... where did we go? Maintaining a monopoly over search services and advertising. The ruling caps off a case that pitted the Justice Department against one of the world's most valuable companies, probably most powerful company, with the White House calling it a victory for the American people. Americans deserve an internet that is free, fair, and open for competition, said the White House press secretary, Karine Jean-Pierre, which I actually agree with. This is one of the few times I think I actually agreed with Jean-Pierre about anything. How is Google responding? Kent Walker, Google's president of global affairs, said the company planned to appeal against the decision. This decision recognizes... Where did I go? The Google offers the best search engine, but concludes that we shouldn't be allowed to make it easily available. Oh, shut up. How will this ruling affect the internet? The ruling could have major implications for the way people interact with the internet. However, the ruling does not state what penalties Google will face for violating antitrust laws, leaving big questions about the future of the company's dominance over the search industry and how it will operate. Harris picking walls. What a dope. What a dope. All right, I think that we're going to see some major changes to the internet. I think that what's going to happen to the internet over the next couple of years is just things are not going to be the same for the internet for a while. All right, next one. Kamala Harris steals Trump's no tax on tips policy, even though she and the Biden administration did nothing about it until Trump announced the policy. CBS reporting, Harris backs ending taxes on tips. Yep, let's adjust that screen again. Beep-a-dip, sheep-a-deep, beep-a-dap-dap, boop-a-boop-a-boop. There we go. All right. Harris backs ending taxes on tips, copying Trump's proposal. Let's be honest here, CBS, all right? Thank you for reporting on it. How about we put some honesty back into the news? Vice President Kamala Harris is rolling out a new policy position saying she'll fight to end taxes on tips for service and hospitality workers. It's a proposal her opponent, former President Donald Trump, has touted all summer in an effort to win over tipped workers. And everybody. Look, me and my wife don't work for tips. We remember those times. And heck yes, I want those people to be able to keep the money they earned, especially if the government is not going to use the taxes that we give them very well. That Donald Trump touted all summer in an effort to win over workers, campaigning in Las Vegas on Saturday with running mate Tim Walz. Harris pledged to work to eliminate federal taxes on tips earned by restaurant employees and other service workers. And I'll just go ahead and make this super short, save us some time. The big rebuttal for her that I think actually pushed people in Trump's direction was the question, why haven't you done it already? Great question, people. Yeah, why don't you do it right now? That was the big thing I was saying. Like, look, if you cared about it, you could have already done it within 4 years. And if you really want to hurt the Trump campaign, do it today. End taxes on tips today. Because if you do that, then Trump has no leg to stand on. He'll just have to be like, all right, it's already done. No taxes on tips. Take it off the table. It's already done. But no. She wouldn't do that because she had no intentions of ever doing it. Trump actually follows through on things. Next one, let me take a swig really quickly. All right, nope, I already just read that one. Great Britain and Europe. This is on August 12th. Great Britain and the European Union threatened to arrest Trump and Musk because of the interview on X. Do y'all remember this? That was one of the biggest interviews. I think until Rogan had Trump on his platform, that was the biggest interview that the internet had seen for a long time. I remember listening to it and listening to the two of them going back and forth with each other. This is back when, before Elon really jumped on the campaign with Trump. He just had him on to talk for a little bit. I remember listening to it and thinking to myself, Trump just sounds like an everyday person in this interview. There's also some stupid stories about how Donald Trump was slurring his words. It was obviously a mic problem, but Democrats are going to be stupid about it. All right. This comes from The Independent. Now Elon Musk is rowing with the EU over Twitter hate using Tropic Thunder memes, which is so freaking funny. Woo-wee! Elon Musk is now in a war of words with the EU after weeks of mudslinging over the UK's handling of far-right violence. I don't believe anything anytime someone says far-right. European Union sent a warning letter to the multi-billionaire reminding him of the bloc's rules against promoting harmful content. There's no harmful content in it. It's just ridiculous. Ahead of his interview with former U.S. President Donald Trump, Musk responded with a Tropic Thunder film meme of Tom Cruise reading, "Take a big step back and literally puff your face," which has racked up more than 40 million views. I don't care about the views. I just think it's hilarious. The letter from the EU digital commissioner, who cares, warned X was subject to the EU's Digital Services Act, the bloc's relatively new law regulating illegal content and disinformation on large social media platforms. With great audience comes greater responsibility. #DSA. As the risk of amplification of potentially harmful content in... Who's that again? Is it Sweden? It's not Switzerland. It's just like a European Union flag. I don't remember. I think it's just a European Union flag. I don't remember. It's not that important. In connection with events with major audience around the world, I sent this letter to at Elon Musk. Stupid, stupid. I'm gonna keep doing it. These people are ridiculous and they don't deserve to be on. Let me clarify that any negative effect of illegal content on X in the EU, which could be attributed to the ineffectiveness in which X applies to relevant positions of the DSA, may be relevant in the context of the ongoing proceedings and the overall assessment of X's compliance with the EU. And basically, they threatened to arrest both Trump and Musk for having an interview. Ugh. Guess who's not in jail in the by the European Union? Oh, it's too fun. It's too fun. All right, we're going to take a quick moment while I'm prepping a couple more of these stories. If y'all want to throw something in the chat, ask some questions, or if there are any other stories that you think were important to cover, you can go ahead and throw those into the chat. I've got it pulled up just in case y'all want to feel a little talky today. All right, so there we go for that one. That's right, because we didn't just have one attempt on Trump's life. It's ridiculous, ridiculous. There we go. I'm going to bump that one. There we go. Man, y'all, like, I'm already, like, just exhausted from all of the news that I'm covering right now. Like, it's... I try really hard to... I try really hard to have some fun with it, but it's like, my gosh, the previous year was just so wild. There was so much freaking corruption that was happening during that time. Sega monkeypox corruption, got that one. Helene, there we go. Yep, there's a big one. Did y'all get any snow this year? We got some snow that came in. Ooh, I'm missing a date there. That's okay. Do I have this in here twice? I may have the, oh no. See, this is why I keep this going, because, like, I just realized, okay, there was another attack from Iran on Israel. Dadgummit, y'all. Wow. Okay. Yeah, we were in World War III and didn't even know it. Kind of pittered through a little bit, but wow, we were in World War III. All right, we're going to stop there, and then we'll do one more round of opening tabs later. Boom. Back up. There we go. All right, let's pull the site back up. GB deep. Boop. 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 All right, let's go. Next story on the block. September 15th, the second attempt on Trump's life. That's right, there was more than one. The so-called third one, I don't think actually was. I believe that was a fabricated story by the media. However, for this one, why would I do that? Go. Fine, whatever. All right, so photos have emerged of Ryan Wesley Roth, the 85-year-old suspect arrested in connection with the Donald Trump's apparent assassination attempt. All right. The second assassination attempt is 50-year-old man. All right. Oh, wait a second. Was this the fake one? This may have been the... Why is there so much freaking crap up here? All right, so there was the I can't remember off the top of my head because like these are a lot of stories to keep up with, but there was one with an actual patriot who was not trying to assassinate Trump. He was actually a big supporter. But there was a story a couple of months ago on Trump's golf course where they found the stand that was set up on the other side of a fence, somebody who was hunkered down. And I cannot remember off the top of my head what happened. I was pretty sure I saved that one. I must have missed that one. My apologies, y'all. Can't be perfect on everything. All right, next one. Here's another big one. Man, the Louder with Crowder undercover team was like has really been killing it the past 2 years. All right. The Crowder undercover team reveals Dr. Jay Varna was breaking his own policies. All right, you can watch this undercover recording. Man, it is amazing how many of these people are willing to just give away all the goods in order to get laid. It's ridiculous. All right. Former New York City COVID czar held secret drug-filled sex parties during the global pandemic. All right, you can watch the full video right here or over on Rumble. You can read the full article for yourself if you want. Let's just hit the highlights. Dr. Jay Varma, former senior advisor for public health, New York City's mayor's office, had to be kind of sneaky about it, the sex party. I was running the entire COVID response for the city. We rented a hotel. We all took Molly, which is ecstasy, or 8 to 10 of us were in the room, just like being naked with friends. Ugh. Dr. Varma. We went to some underground dance party underneath a bank on Wall Street. We were all rolling, Dr. Varma. This was not COVID friendly. I did all the deviant sexual stuff while I was, on TV, press conferences and stuff. I actually was the one who convinced the mayor, de Blasio, to make it, COVID vaccine, a mandate. So you can watch the video for yourself. You'll have these people. It's very, very interesting how the people who will claim that the videos that Louder with Crowder or James O'Keefe do, how they're spliced and cut out of context and whatnot, and they're still running with the story that Trump called neo-Nazis very fine people. It's ridiculous, and it's so easy to see through once you put them side by side. But you can watch the video for yourself. You can listen to him in his own words talking to one of Mug Club Undercover's agents as he is admitting to all of these things on freaking camera. Oh, and by the way, it didn't end there for him. He got pretty much excommunicated from everything, and New York was in an uproar. Next up, September 23rd, the U.S. announced it was sending troops to the Middle East. From the AP, U.S. AP reports the U.S. is sending more troops to the Middle East as violence rises between Israel and Hezbollah. Okay. As much as the biggest story of the year was the July Trump assassination attempt, my favorite story of the year is Israel's pager bombs. Pager bombing Hezbollah. Oh my god, it was so funny. Oh, my group chat that I have is this. I might have to pull this meme at some point to show you guys, but it's the clip from Lord of the Rings: Return of the King, where Gandalf is standing with the soldiers of Gondor. He's like, "You are soldiers of Gondor. Whatever that comes through those gates, you will face." And then the trolls come through, and you just watch Gandalf's eyes go wide, and it's, "You are soldiers of Hezbollah. No matter what comes through those gates, you will stand and fight." And then it shows a pager with Shalom written across it come through. I'm gonna have to pull it and show you guys later because it's so funny. Anyways, the U.S. is sending a small number of additional troops to the Middle East in response to a sharp spike in violence between Israel and Hezbollah forces in Lebanon that has raised the risk of a greater regional war, the Pentagon said Monday. Major General Pat Ryder, Pentagon press secretary, would not say how many forces would be deployed or what they'd be tasked to do. The U.S. now has about 40,000 troops in the region. On Monday, the aircraft carrier USS Harry Truman, 2 Navy destroyers, and a cruiser set sail from Norfolk, Virginia, headed to the 6th Fleet area in Europe on a regularly scheduled deployment. I'm going to tell you what, y'all, this stream is exhausting. I'm glad I only do it once a year. Wow, because it's a lot. It's a lot to think through, to keep up with, and to make sure that I'm correct about, and to produce all by myself. All right, so it set forth possibility U.S. could keep both the Truman and aircraft carrier USS Abraham Lincoln, which is in the Arabian Gulf, in the region in case more violence breaks out. And you had, during this time, you had Kamala Harris saying that there were no soldiers overseas. And you had the videos of like the soldiers overseas being like, then what the are we doing here? It's just so funny. But yeah, more soldiers got sent to the Middle East during that time. September 24th, Alex Jones forced to liquidate InfoWars. New York Post. Oh, wait a second. Why didn't that one open? Must have missed that one. Here we go. All right, judge to approve auctions liquidating Alex Jones InfoWars to help pay Sandy Hook families. All right, have your opinions about Alex Jones, okay? Pretty much we all agree he was wrong about what he said about Sandy Hook. Even he admits it. And, you know, you remember the big story when he said, Alex Jones has finally said that he was wrong about what he said. I remember back in, what was it, 2022? No, it was before that. I think it was 2021. He went on Louder with Crowder's show for an Ash Wednesday special. And I remember him at that time, before all of this, before this whole article, before this trial, everything was happening, and he said that he was wrong about Sandy Hook. And then he said, look, I have videos of myself from a month later saying that I was wrong about it. And I've said it multiple times. Yeah, but you won't get that. The trial was a sham, even though what he said at the time was ridiculous. It is very obvious that he realized he was wrong and tried to correct course. Conspiracy theorist Alex Jones's InfoWars media platform, formerly conspiracy theorist, and it was purposely at the time. Now it's wow, he's right about a lot of things. And its assets will be sold off piece by piece in auctions this fall to help pay for the more than $1 billion he owes relatives of victims of the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting, under an order expected to be approved by a federal judge. I wonder how that story is going to change this year. U.S. bankruptcy judge Christopher Lopez in Houston said during a court hearing Tuesday that he will approve the auctions that start in November, but he said he first must change a previous order to make it clear that trustee overseeing Jones's personal bankruptcy case controls all the assets of InfoWars' parent company, Free Speech Systems, which is owned 100% by Jones. This is how the left operates. They don't just want you to shut up. They want to ruin your life. All right? It's disgusting. Oh my gosh, it's just disgusting the way that they operate. All right, let's pull this back over. Boop, boop. Okay. Then we get to Louder with Crowder reveals the SIGA monkeypox corruption. Also compliments of Dr. James Varma. New York City's ex-COVID czar's media spin comments on SIGA Technologies' monkeypox drug sparks investigation. Former employer of New York City's ex-COVID czar is being investigated for potential violations of federal scrutiny laws after he seemingly babbled to an unidentified woman. Good, keep her that way, all right? Keep her that way. Protect undercover journalism. Holy crap, that's super inappropriate. I will try to keep it covered. All right. 2 New York City-based law firms launched probes this weekend into SIGA Technologies on behalf of investors and the pharmaceutical firm's former chief medical officer and executive president, Dr. Jay Varma, was caught making the comment on a hidden camera. Varma, who served as senior health advisor to former Mayor Bill de Blasio, seemingly admitted to using the media to spin stories to salvage SIGA's monkeypox drug, TPOXX, and to preserve the company's stock price, according to Levi and Korzinski, one of the law firms investigating. Highly edited clips. Hi! Shut up, Post. Of the secret recording between Varma and so-called undercover, so-called New York Post. Sometimes New York Post is great, but sometimes they're garbage. Undercover operative were released Wednesday as part of a conservative podcaster Steven Crowder's series Mug Club. Part of the series Mug Club Undercover. Y'all can't get crap all of anything right. Gosh. All right, another law firm investigating possible security claims on behalf of investor SIGA, Wolf Halderstein and Alder Friedman and Hertz, noted the company had been conducting a clinical trial to evaluate the efficacy and safety of TPOXX in treatment of Mpox. But on August 15th, a clinical trial revealed the drug failed to achieve its primary endpoint. You want to know what happened? You should go and watch that Mug Club Undercover video as well if you haven't, because you know what the trial showed? The trial showed that the drug was only as effective as hand washing, as wearing a condom. Like the basic things of cleanliness were as effective at treating monkeypox as the stupid drug. And they didn't reveal those findings. Screw you, New York Post. You're better than that. All right. Hurricane Helene makes landfall in devastation in the South. September 27th. I remember this. This was very difficult. We got hit with a little bit of it here in the Chattanooga area. We didn't get hit with a lot. This is compliments of ABC, who I guess doesn't take down all of their articles. Hurricane Helene updates. Death toll surpasses 230 after rescue efforts continue. It is more than that now. More than 230 people have been killed from Hurricane Helene, which unleashed devastation across Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, and Tennessee. Helene, which made landfall in Florida's Big Bend region as a massive Category 4 hurricane, has become the deadliest mainland hurricane since Katrina in 2005. Large portions of Georgia were impacted greatly, and Tennessee, but of course the most devastating area was North Carolina. Your nation has your back, Joe and Jill Biden tell those in Helene's deadly path. All right, and the thing is this story is still going to be ongoing for a little bit because it looks like there is some foul play going on with FEMA and with the government keeping quite a bit of the support that these people really needed. I think that that's going to be another big story that we're going to find out a lot of things that are very disgusting from our federal government to come out soon. Next story, whistleblowers reveal lenient treatment of Hunter Biden. From the BBC. All right, sometimes you have to go somewhere else in order to get some accurate information for a change. BBC. Hunter Biden. Who are the IRS tax whistleblowers? 2 Internal Revenue Service investigators have testified to Congress that the investigation into Hunter Biden's tax returns were hampered by the Justice Department officials for political reasons. Dadgummit, y'all, we were a fascist country. In 2024, we were a fascist country. People don't like, can we just come out and say it now, okay? I was telling the boys group chat this the other day. You know, what part of what's made the culture so different in the United States of America right now is that people are actually brave enough now to be reasonable. They're brave enough now to be sane. Now, having Donald Trump win not only a very significant majority of the Electoral College, but also being the first presidential anything on the Republican side in over a decade to win the popular vote, people seem to be more brave to be sane. So let's just be honest. We were a fascist country in 2024 under Joe Biden. All right, these two allege that Mr. Biden, who agreed on the 20th of June to plead guilty to 2 misdemeanor tax offenses and a felony firearm violation, should have been charged with more serious crimes. Instead, they claim he received more lenient treatment because he's the son of a U.S. President Joe Biden. That sounds familiar. I wonder if that's ever happened before with Mr. Hunter Biden. All right, the 2 IRS employees who testified about the Hunter Biden investigation are Gary Shapley, a supervisory special agent, and Joseph Ziegler, a criminal investigator. Mr. Shapley worked for the IRS for 14 years and serves as a team leader in the agency's international tax and financial crimes group, which oversaw the IRS investigation into Hunter Biden. Mr. Ziegler, whose identity was concealed until he publicly testified to the House Oversight Committee on the 19th of July, has worked with the IRS Criminal Investigations Division for 13 years. In November 2018, he initiated an inquiry into Hunter Biden's tax filings. The investigation would subsequently be merged with a Delaware-based federal investigation of Mr. Biden's finances that began in January 2019 as is headed by the U.S. Attorney for Delaware, David Weiss. By the way, little thing about that whole investigation thing. You guys remember the laptop story? That was wild. I remember that happening. It was during one of the Louder with Crowder streams. Can you guys tell that I follow Louder with Crowder? During the Louder with Crowder stream, they had Rudy Giuliani on as a guest, and they were talking about the alleged laptop that shows up, and then Rudy, you see like Crowder making some jokes about it, just being like, I wonder if we could see what's on that. And then Rudy Giuliani just goes, well, you see, I actually have the laptop right here. And he holds it up, and you watch Steven Crowder's face go from to, oh my God, that's it. He's literally holding Hunter Biden's laptop. It's wild, crazy story. And then Rudy Giuliani got raided by the FBI, who checked everything except for the laptop. My gosh. And October 1st. This is the one I was talking about a minute ago, and I'm missing some dates in some of the October stuff, but that's okay. All right. October 1st. Iran launches missile attack on Israel. This is compliments of Axios. Israel and U.S. repel 180 missile attack from Iran. A round of 180 ballistic missiles towards Israel in a 2-wave attack on Tuesday. This was Iran's largest scale attack ever against Israel. Most of the missiles were intercepted by Israel and the U.S., and there are no reports of deaths inside Israel. One Palestinian civilian was reportedly killed in the West Bank. Ain't it curious, like, how, oh gosh, just so stupid. I bet you Iran didn't care to apologize about attacking the Palestinians. It's just so stupid. This is the second attack of the year from Iran on Israel. Like I said, let's be brave to be sane. We were in World War III. Okay? Iran launched 2 major ballistic attacks on Israel. Gosh. It's ridiculous. I hate it. All right. One more time, we're going to go through, pull up all the sources and whatnot. If you got anything to add down in the comments, this is the time to do so, because as soon as I'm done with this, I'm going to log off of YouTube for Rumble. We're going to find that wonderful, beautiful meme I was telling you about, the Lord of the Rings meme. And let's see. Oh, yeah, that's going to be so fun. All right. So, of the things that Trump is doing right now, of the things that are happening today, what are your favorite things so far? What are the favorite things that you have that you've seen Trump do so far, or at least that have happened? Because I'm telling you what, y'all, I'm having a great time at the moment. In Paxton. Here we go. More legal cases dropped. CEO assassination. Well, something else has been doing. If you're curious about this, you can go check out the other videos on this channel. If you're on YouTube, you're going to need to go to Rumble. That's where I'm putting most of them. There was one video I put over there was one video I put on YouTube, but the rest are over on Rumble exclusively. But I created a Blue Sky account so I could watch all the wild craziness that they want to keep hidden from Republicans. And y'all, there's some pretty gross stuff that happens on Blue Sky. I don't really do it much anymore because I showed the guys group chat this. The user base of Blue Sky has been like pittering out pretty hilariously. You can watch like the graph of like how it's just like shrinking. The user base just like is just dwindling down to nothingness. It's so fun. All right, here we go. Next story. This is also in October. O'Keefe Media Group undercover. MSNBC producer says company is the mouthpiece of Democrat Party. Happened in October. You can watch this video right here over on Rumble. It's the O'Keefe Media Group. Let me scroll down a little bit. Let y'all see this the full name and the photo here. But yeah, you go over to Rumble and you can find yeah, I'm a Rumble Premium subscriber, but you can find this video. You can watch it. It's ridiculous, like how much these people will spill in order to just get the possibility of being laid. It's ridiculous. I'm telling you. Anyways, yeah, this is in the description of this video. During an undercover date with an OMG journalist, Basil Hamden, a writer and producer of NBC's show Amen, was asked what the network has done to assist Kamala Harris's campaign, and Hamden revealed on hidden camera that what Harris's message of the day is their message of the day. It's pretty bad. Let me tell you, and again, for all the people who are like, oh, but you're splicing and dicing it, and it doesn't actually have what his words are. You're taking them out of context, even though we don't care to watch the full 4-minute video from CNBC of the Trump very fine people statement, where less than a minute later he says, and I'm not talking about neo-Nazis and white nationalists, they should be condemned totally, I believe, around the 3-minute mark. You can watch it yourself, because even just that statement, if it is spliced by itself, there's not a lot of context that's going to make that look good. Next story. Can y'all tell, like, some of this stuff really ticks me off a lot? Like, it's ridiculous, like, how much these people get away with. And one of the most fun stories of the year. Oh my gosh. In October, the Falcon 9 SpaceX successful landing. Holy crap. Let's just watch the video, because like I just so freaking fun, okay? Doop doop boop boop boop. Find it over on YouTube. Bloomberg Technology posted this. And look at this thing. All right, there's the rocket. See the rocket coming in, okay? It's coming in hot. and there's some chitter chatter about like whether or not it's actually going to do it, the rockets freaking light up. And watch this beauty, okay? Look at this incredible feat of technology. You see like how the rocket's like adjusting itself, it's positioning itself, and it freaking lands down and is caught. A rocket lands. Holy crap, that's so freaking cool. Oh my gosh. Oh, SpaceX is just, it's just so fun. I love it. I love it so much. It's just fun stuff. It's just so fun. You know, so it's, hashtag for the boys. All right, next story. And the reason I include that is an incredible technological advancement. Praise God, it's in the U.S. October 21st, Nathan Wade testifies against Fani Willis. You remember all those stories about how terrible Trump is, how he's a lawbreaker and whatnot? Man, my throat is killing me. Nathan Wade testifies against, good, I don't have to adjust it, against Fani Willis, jump-started investigation before she took office. Woo-hoo! All right, and we're not going to read the full story. But Nathan Wade told Congress during a closed-door deposition that Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis began preparing to prosecute former President Donald Trump before she took office in January 2021, according to a transcript released Monday. Wade said Willis began outreach for a Trump-related search committee prior to her taking office on January 1st, 2021, according to the transcript of the deposition, which was conducted by the House Judiciary Committee last week. And was there outreach to you to be a part of the committee prior to January 1st, 2021? A committee lawyer asked Wade. Absolutely, Wade replied, adding that the contact started somewhere after the 2020 election, but prior to her taking office. We told y'all this was going to be a big story, and it did. Thank you, Washington Examiner, for sharing this with us today. All right, and next story. Here we go. October 22nd. October was a big month, too. Ken Paxton of Texas sues Biden-Harris for not answering citizenship inquiries and the potential that there were 450,000 potential illegal voters. You can look at this on texasattorneygeneral.gov. Attorney General Ken Paxton sues Biden-Harris for refusing to verify citizenship status for potentially ineligible voters on Texas voter rolls. You can read the whole thing right here, but just to cover a little bit. Attached was a list of approximately 450,000 voters whose citizenship status has never been checked because they registered without a state of Texas issued driver's license or identification card. Federal law requires the federal government to provide that information, and Attorney General Paxton's letter formally triggered those obligations. While the majority of the voters on the list are likely citizens who are eligible to vote, Texans have no way of knowing whether or not any of the voters on that list are non-citizens who are ineligible to vote without additional information. The very fact that we're having this conversation shows we were a fascist country under President Biden. And since we can say it, I don't think he's actually president. I think it was a coup. December 8th. Oh wait, yeah. Well, no, wait. Of course, we had the sweeping Trump victory and whatnot, and all of the. Yeah, there we go. November 24th, we had Trump's sweeping victory. Trump's sweeping victory in early November. Beautiful, wonderful. All right, let's go to December 4th. Not December 4th. Why do I keep wanting to jump there? Oh, because it's because I want to talk about blue sky again. November 24th, the last of Trump's legal cases are dropped. Now, that has changed in January because they are still, things are stupid. But from the BBC, this article it is from the 24th of November, and this article from the 26th. BBC reports special counsel's last criminal case against Trump is dismissed. A U.S. court has dismissed the last remaining federal criminal case against Donald Trump, which alleged that President-elect illegally retained classified documents. The appeals court approved a dismissal request from Special Prosecutor Jack Smith on Tuesday. Earlier on Monday, a separate case alleging that Trump illegally sought to overturn the 2020 election was also dismissed. You see how the pieces keep falling over and over and over. My apologies, y'all. We're seeing a massive overturn of the swamp. And we saw an overturn of the swamp before the man even came into office. So many people trying to save their own butts. It's beautiful. And the swamp is still going to excuse me. They're still going to continue to try to go after him in these ridiculous ways. Here's an important point, though. The cases were dismissed without prejudice, meaning charges could be refiled after Trump finishes his second term as president. In his request to drop the election case, Smith wrote, "This outcome is not based on the merits of strength or the case against the defendant. Trump had pled not guilty in both cases. After leaving office, Trump crossed into the unprecedented legal territory for a former president, becoming the first to face a criminal trial and later conviction in a case tied to a payment made to his adult film actress Stormy Daniels," which is another fishy one that I don't really want to get into. There are people who have time to delve into the dealings of sex stars and whatnot that I'm going to leave them to do that part. All right, now we can move on to December 4th, the United Healthcare CEO assassination. All right, and I'm pulling an article from a little bit later, a couple days later. We get this situated for you, and I want the AP up in the corner. Oops. It doesn't matter that the purple line is there, but it's one of those things. Again, wish I had another person. Maybe one day. Whatever, it's fine. Timeline of the faithful shooting of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson and search for his killer. After days of searching thoroughly through security footage, following up on a deluge of tips and even sending scuba divers to the bottom of a lake, police on Monday announced the arrest of a suspect in the killing of United Healthcare CEO outside a Midtown Manhattan hotel last week. The hunt began in hours after Brian Thompson was gunned down on the sidewalk early Wednesday morning, with the suspected shooter slipping away from the scene and riding a bike to Central Park before taking a taxi to a bus depot that offers service to several nearby states. On Monday morning, a tip from a McDonald's around 233 miles away in Altoona, Pennsylvania, led police to arrest 26-year-old Luigi Nicholas Mangione, who authorities say was carrying a gun believed to be the one used to shoot Thompson. And it goes through the whole timeline of everything that happened, and I really appreciate this because there's things I didn't know in this article that this timeline makes very, very helpful. No thanks, because you guys are okay sometimes, but you guys do still lie. All right, so you can read through the whole timeline yourself if you'd like to take the time to do it. He is arrested. The case is still ongoing. I believe he is the murderer of Brian Thompson, but since the case is still ongoing, I want to wait a little bit and make my official opinions on it later when the trials are complete or when evidence is fully brought forward. All right. Then December 8th, Syria falls to rebels. This is from PBS. All right, how are we doing here? Yeah, nice. Syrian government falls to rebel offensive in stunning end to Assad family's 50-year rule. All right. Ousted Syrian leader Bashar Assad fled to Moscow and received asylum from his longtime ally, Russian media said Sunday, hours after a stunning rebel advance seized control of Damascus and ended his family's 50 years of iron rule. Thousands of Syrians poured into the streets, echoing with celebratory gunfire, and waved the revolutionary flag in scenes that recalled the early stages of Arab Spring uprising before a brutal crackdown and the rise of an insurgency plunged the country into a nearly 14-year civil war. Swiftly moving events raise questions about the future of the country's wider region. All right, and President Joe Biden, our approach has shifted the balance of power in the Middle East, as crediting action by the U.S. and its allies for weakening Syria's backers, Russia, Iran, and Hezbollah. Shut up, dude. You're not doing crap all of anything. Called for the fall of Assad, a fundamental act of justice, but also a moment of risk and uncertainty as combatants. Said rebel groups are saying the right thing now, but the U.S. would assess their actions because it happens over and over. Think of Che Guevara. America backed him, thought he was great, put him on shirts. Turns out he murdered gay people. So we'll see what happens with Syria. I'm not very optimistic about it. And I think that especially like Christians within the region are going to be severely persecuted in the upcoming times. All right, December 9th. Let's get back to some good news. Daniel Penny found not guilty. New York Post. What do you got for us today? Daniel Penny acquitted in subway chokehold death of Jordan Neely, sparking applause, uproar in New York City courtroom. Marine veteran Daniel Penny was acquitted by a Manhattan jury Monday in the chokehold death of Jordan Neely, a lightning rod case that cast a light on the mayhem plaguing the Big Apple's subways. Jurors cleared Penny, a 26-year-old Long Islander, of criminally negligent homicide after the caught-on-camera fatal encounter on an uptown F train last year that sparked fierce debate about mental illness, public safety, and vigilantism, and racism. Let's throw that in there because they painted this poor man as being a racist who just wanted to kill black people. Let's not forget that, all right? Let's not, YouTube, this is more for you, Rumble, you guys know that, but YouTube, this man was called a racist, was called, for lynching Jordan Neely. A suited up Penny, who remained stone-faced for much of the 4-week trial, broke out in a huge smile as his not guilty verdict was read out loud, prompting both applause and anger inside the courtroom as his high-profile case came to an end. I'm not surprised, in the sense that day one, we knew that we believed he would be exonerated because the evidence overwhelmingly supported that. The verdict, which followed more than 20 hours of jury deliberations, came at the more serious manslaughter charge, was dismissed by a prosecutor last week after 12 jurors, 7 women and 5 men, deadlocked on that route. Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg, who quickly faced calls to resign for bringing the case against Penny in the first place, said he respected the jury's ruling and insisted that prosecutors follow the facts and evidence from beginning to end. Meaning that what you were going to do was bullcrap and you're trying to save your butt. Just like a lot of how CNN tried to save their butts right after the massive Trump election win. Over the course of a 4-week trial, defense attorneys painted Penny as a hero who was fully justified when he took down Neely, a 30-year-old troubled homeless man who witnesses said was menacing others and making threats on an uptown F train on May 1st, 2023. I agree with people who take jujitsu who look at the footage and say, look, obviously he's not trying to be, to be malicious here. He did not administer that chokehold correctly. It was very poor form that did lead to the death. But like looking at the footage and especially looking at Neely's history, and what he was doing at the time, it is right that he was acquitted because Neely was being aggressive and threatening people. And look, yes, I do believe that we need to do something better to take care of the people who have these mental illnesses. but not at the expense, not at the expense of innocent people. That's the catch. We need to protect innocent people. Let me try something real quick. I want to see if that looks any better. That looks significantly better. Does it? Yeah. I'm going to leave that off. All right, we can't, yeah, but basically we can't protect those in need at the expense of the innocent. Same thing with children. All right, United Healthcare CEO assassin caught. And we kind of already have covered that. It's an ongoing investigation, but he was caught on December 9th. Covered that in the last one. And I don't remember the date on this. It will probably be in this article. Shout out to Daily Wire. I don't like everything about you guys right now, but this was a good catch, Daily Wire. Whoop. There we go. Biden races to sell off border wall parts before Trump takes office. The Biden administration is using its final weeks to haul a massive amount of border wall materials away from the southern border to be sold off in a government auction, an apparent effort to hinder President-elect Donald Trump's efforts to secure the border. Daily Wire has learned videos obtained exclusively by the Daily Wire from a U.S. Customs and Border Patrol agent show unused sections of the wall being hauled away on the back of flatbed trucks from a section of the border just south of Tucson, a hotspot for illegal crossings during the Biden administration. The agent estimates that up to half a mile per day of unused border wall is being moved. They're taking it from 3 stations, Nogales, Tucson, and 3 Points. The Border Patrol agent, who was granted anonymity to speak freely, told the Daily Wire, the goal is to move all of it off the border before Christmas. 2 days, you're talking a mile long of border wall. That is a lot of materials being sold, government property being sold out. Trump made clear during his campaign that he intends to finish the construction of the border wall, making use of the materials that have remained untouched at the border since President Joe Biden took office in 2021. If the material brought to the border during this first term is sold off, it will significantly delay any progress on one of Trump's flagship campaign promises at the border. Democrats do not act in good faith. This is what they do all the time. And my gosh, there's no care about the American people here. It's all for the purpose of optics, of making themselves look like heroes in the face of Donald Trump the fascist, even though very obviously, as we've covered in 2024, the Democrats were the ones who were acting like fascists. But there you go. Those are what I believe to be the major news events in 2024. What do you think are the most important things that happened in 2024? I want to hear it in the comments. For YouTube, we are signing off for right now. If you want to see the meme that I was talking about earlier, whoops. If you want to see the Lord of the Rings meme I was talking about earlier, then you're gonna need to shift over to Rumble or Locals right now. Thank you guys for tuning in. Tune in next year, and we'll cover the major events of 2020.